Alright, welcome to the weekly gaming quick save show recorded live at 3 p.m. Pacific time every Friday right here on Twitch. This week we're going to get ready for Star Wars by reviewing episodes 1 and 2, which I believe are the favorite ones that everyone seems to love. I'm also going to be talking more about Fallout 4 because it's just freaking going to take me like 7 years to get through this stupid game. But first let's look at some of the biggest topics of the week, starting off with Star Wars Battlefront. And depending on who you talk to, this is either the best game of all time, or this is a horrible garbage heap. And that really brings me to my real point of can't something just be okay? Can't we just have something that's just good? You know, everything is awesome, amazing, super great, the best, or it's the worst, garbage, shit pile. You know, it's none of those things are true about this game or about most things. And you know, if you love Star Wars Battlefront, that doesn't make it the best game ever. If you hate Star Wars Battlefront, that doesn't make it the worst game ever. So I think just as a society, we should start trying to, you know, stop hyperbole before it starts. That's, you know, just the more you know. This little star goes by. That's what that is. But that's just me. In other news, Deus Ex Mankind Divided got delayed to August. Looks like they should have augmented the production instead of those pre-orders. No? Alright. Alright, well, I got another one. Let's see here. Mankind Divided. More like Mankind Arduous Separation. You get partial custody in August. Still no? Alright. Well, one more. Okay. Deus Ex Mankind Divided. How about this next summer, Mankind, please forgive us. Okay, I have a lot of fun with that. In news that's only interesting to me, Lightning Returns Final Fantasy XIII is coming out on PC, and I am very excited. This news is only exciting for me and probably about 5 other people. And I am very excited. I'm way too excited for this stupid game. What can I say? I like Final Fantasy XIII. I'm not going to apologize for it. Not even a little bit. Maybe a little bit. But not much. In news about an also kind of controversial game, Beyond Two Souls looks to be somewhat stealth released next week. Sony's like, oh, it's all of a sudden happening. This is a little bit like when the kid in kindergarten poops his pants and he hides in the corner like nothing happened. Yeah, we know what you did. Okay, we know what you did. And Sony, we know what you're doing. So don't act like this game all of a sudden happened and came out of the sky one day and, oh, it's here next week. Wow, what happened? You knew it. Don't be stupid. We're not stupid. You're not stupid. You're better than this. I believe in you, Sony. You've done dumber things, but I believe in you. It's just ridiculous. And actually, cool news. That Zoolander 2 trailer is amazing. I love it. This is the movie I did not know I wanted a sequel to Zoolander. Because who would request that? As much as I love Zoolander, who's requesting a sequel? That person's a genius. I mean, even the Mugatu reveal in this. Why do I like this stupid trailer so much? It was hilarious, and I think we should really break it down second by second. I mean, starting with the logos, because that's really the most important thing in the world today. I think, right? I can think of no better, more important thing. Right? Actually, wait, hold on. I'm getting another breaking news bulletin out of the Boston area. Rumor has it that robots that look indistinguishable from humans have invaded Diamond City. These robots called synths. Okay, we're gonna go live right now on the fly. Crazy news day. We're gonna go live to Jessica Jones, who is outside the Boston area right now. Jessica, what can you tell me about the risk of synths in Diamond City? What's that? I can't hear you. But watch my show on Netflix right now. It's available today. Jessica, do not pretend that you cannot hear me. What? Yes, Netflix is a great platform. I'm really happy with it. I watch Frasier reruns a lot. Jessica, I'm trying to talk to you about the very serious and important issue of synths in Diamond City. Do you have any updates on this matter? Okay. Local gossip rag author Piper has made some startling accusations that since have already made their way into Diamond City. That is literally what I already said and already know. Okay, how about this? The Wanderer, wandering around the Boston wastelands. What does this person have to offer? Have they gone to Diamond City? Well, yes, the Wanderer has indeed made their way to Diamond City and has also shown interest in the synth issues, but they got distracted by something northeast of here. Okay, well, okay, that's good though. What did they get distracted by? Well, early reports are saying that it might have been my show, Jessica Jones, on Netflix right now. Go watch it. Jessica, I don't know why I talk to you. It's just, you bring nothing. You bring nothing to the table. It's just, when you actually have an update on this real important issue with robots in a fake city in the fake future, please let me know. Thank you, Jessica Jones in Boston. We'll keep our ears to the ground in Boston, nose to the grindstone, pig to the sky, whatever metaphors. In the meantime, let's get right into the topics of the week. What am I going to do with her? Go on, get the next topic ready. Boop, 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 boop. I need like 7 monitors, then I could do this show correctly. Alright, time for a very late and very uninformed movie review. And this time, it's going to be Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Now, instead of going off for about 10 minutes on when was the last time I watched Star Wars and blah, 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 let's get off the dashboard like a moron. I'm gonna look at him. Look at him there on the screen, just staring at you. I haven't seen any Star Wars movie since probably 2008 at the latest. Any movie besides a couple, random scenes you see. So that's what, 7 years? It's been at least 7 years since I've seen a Star Wars movie. It's been at least maybe close to 12 to 15 years since I've seen any of the original trilogy movies. So, in honor of The Force Awakens, I'm going through all of them, and I'm watching them again since it's been so freaking long. And so, basically, I'm going to go through the notes I took on Episode 1. There's a lot of notes here. First note definitely has to do with Ian McGregor here. I remember watching this. I was 9 when Episode 1 came out. And I remember watching this and thinking this was like an adult person. He looks so young here. It's baffling. Almost as baffling as the little rat tail. I wonder if I can make this bigger. Boom. That's what you want. Big ol' Ian McGregor. That's what you want. That won't ruin your day. That won't ruin your day. Now, look at him over there. We're gonna go to my notes. Okay, so that's our first thing. He looks young. Now, I watched this movie a lot when I was a kid. I generally didn't watch it with a giant face of a weirdo staring at me at the corner of my eye. So I still remember a lot of these lines, and the problem with that is there's a lot of stupid shit that they keep saying to each other, and it is just... I mean, I understand everyone's talked about how racist those puppets are now of the trade viceroy, and their mouths are like... It's the worst. It's like... It's the worst ADR, but it's a freaking puppet. It's... I don't know how you do something that bad. Well, that's just the beginning of the movie. I'm still not sure. I've seen this movie countless times. I have no idea. Why is Naboo so important? Why is who cares about Naboo? This trade federation, what? Huh? Is this I guess this is just to force the hand of everything in the Senate, so they really just needed any planet? But why Naboo? Why any of this garbage? It doesn't make any sense. Also, let's go to Jar Jar, the main. Well, let's actually look at the puppets. Maybe puppets isn't the right word for them. Jar Jar, here you go. We'll make Jar Jar really big, because you love him. You know you love him. Fucking Jar Jar. Jar Jar's easily the worst part of this movie, or any movie ever created. He's so... Even as a kid, I don't particularly remember being like, yeah, Jar Jar. I just remember being like, yeah, he's a character in this movie. Along with everyone who's cool, there's also Jar Jar. That's how I remember it. Jar Jar's the worst. There's so many stupid little lines that Jar Jar says, and I'm skipping ahead, but it's like every other scene, there's Jar Jar. Like the scene will take place, and it's like, there's a serious issue going on. Okay, serious. And then they move off screen, and then it's Jar Jar, and he trips on something for no reason to end the scene. Or he steps in poop for no reason. Why are you here? Stop being a nuisance. You have the power of the Force, and yet you can't tell this guy's a complete buffoon and is causing all kinds of trouble. I guess he did kind of help at the end of the movie, but just look at this dumb face. I can't. Let's well, I think I got another gif of him right here. Yeah, here you go. This perfectly sums up Jar Jar. The ability to speak does not make you intelligent. Now get out of here. That should have been all we've seen of Jar Jar. Also, Jar Jar CG really does not hold up at all. This movie shows its age. A lot more so than Episode 2. Definitely shows its age. Also, Oki Day. I completely forgot about Oki Day. One actually stupid, ridiculous thing. I was really into reading, books with paper books at the time. I read, and I think I might have read this before the movie, the novelization, before I saw the movie, the novelization of Episode 1, I have read at least twice, because I used to read books multiple times. I'm a psychopath, and I remember liking that book. This is like almost like a shameful thing of like, I remember really liking this movie. I was 9. I read the book. What do you want from me? I mean, and I completely forgot that I read the book until I watched the movie again, where I was like, they're not explaining this, but I remember details here that happened. Details that the very excellent novelization surely filled in. Fucking psycho. And there's a lot going on here too. Actually the novelization did help, because there's like nothing. None of this movie makes any sense. The plot jumps all over the place, and so much so that the beginning is like, here's a 20-second scene, another 20-second scene, like 20 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 seconds, a minute, 20 seconds. Like, it's cutting between scenes so often, and there's just always fade cuts. There's literally a scene where someone turns to someone and is like, we're landing, fade away. Just land, man. You gotta tell me you're landing. Oh, God. It's obnoxious. It's very obnoxious. I can see why I liked this when I was 9, but it's super obnoxious. Let's see. Also, it plays a lot of this for comedy. That's Jar Jar. Plays a lot of this movie for comedy, way too much. And then it like, sometimes it tries to be dramatic, but it's like, Jar Jar just stepped in poop. That negates any drama you had when you have this giant ear boy floating around. Here's some good things I wrote down. Right, I like the ship that they take. That silver ship. I think I have a picture of it right here. The silver ship, the Naboo cruiser or whatever. No, this is more Jar Jar. Ridiculous, Jar Jar. You should be ashamed of yourself, Jar Jar. This ship, I like this ship. That's cool. That ship's cool. Gotta find positives, right? Gotta find positives. As I said, there's no pacing. There's a lot of stupid fan service of like, here's R2. Don't you like him? And like, I do. But can you just... Come on. Also, I remember Darth Maul's reveal is very lame. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, because There's a lot going on in this movie that's much more egregious than Darth Maul. Uh, and I'm still not sure what the Trade Federation's doing with the Sith, or what any of this is, what any of this means. It's so complicated in a way that's very uninteresting. In the way of, like, if you're reading a newspaper article, because I'm that old apparently, I'm newspaper, you would just look at it and go, nah, I'm not reading that. That's too complicated. That's much too complicated. Now let's. Oh, also this is hilarious. They have a meeting on the ship. So after R2 saves this ship, right here, they go and they have a meeting with Amidala, with fake Amidala, and R2 and the Jedi. And they're talking to R2 like it's a freaking person. Like, thank you, R2, for your service on our ship. We owe you our lives. It's a robot. And they like give him a medal or some shit. Just go away, robot. It doesn't care. Is R2 like a sentient being? I don't think so. I think it's just a robot. Protocol droid, right? Right. I don't. Why would you do that? Like, they hold this meeting, like an official. It's a meeting to give R2 a medal and to talk to the Jedi about where they're going. Like, it's baffling. It's baffling to me that any of this happened. There's so much wrong with like the writing. Also, Natalie Portman looks like she's like 7 years old in this movie. I looked it up. I think she's like 18. They're probably 18-ish when it was filmed. Looks like a little baby. Also, I'm gonna leave this up because this has to do with the next thing. Our reveal of Anakin, this precocious little idiot. I like his line. Okay, how old is Anakin supposed to be? I think he's supposed to be like 8, maybe. Who knows? I think this is Anakin right here. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm Anakin. So Natalie Portman, that's her name now in the movie, Natalie, not Padme, says to him, "Oh, you're a slave?" And he's like, "I'm not a slave. I'm a person." And I'm like, sassy little 8-year-old, you're a slave? I'm gonna slap your face. Cause why you being like this, man? Why you gotta be like that, Anakin? You're a slave, owned by a greasy slimeball flying blue thing. Have a little respect. Also, who says that? I'm not a slave, I'm a person? Anyone who says that is definitely older than 8. Ridiculous. Let's see what else we got. And this kid, he does his best. But the writing of the entire movie is just kind of all over the place. The editing is all over the place. They really should have just casted someone older. There's no reason for him and Padme to be what appears like 8 years difference. It's just a weird, like I understand dating someone 8 years older than you or 8 years younger than you isn't that weird, but it is when you're their age. When you're 8 years old and you see someone in high school, they are another creature entirely. So it doesn't make any sense. Also, his first line to her is, "Are you an angel?" They've never had Also, speaking of slaves, why do slaves have their own houses on Tatooine? Where they apparently like have to go grocery shopping and they make their little oatmeal and apples or whatever. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you? They're like the nicest kept slaves in the entirety of anything. It doesn't make any sense. But we're gonna get to another positive. I like pod racing. I think pod racing is really cool. I liked it then. I like it now. It's what, 15 minutes of the movie is just the pod race, and I'm totally cool with that. Totally cool with pod racing being a big thing in the movie. It doesn't make any sense though why Qui-Gon would risk everything, literally everything, on this kid you just met, who, yeah, sure, he's got a lot of midi-chlorians, maybe we shouldn't risk everything on the kid, on his pod racer that he somehow built at 8 years old. I don't. He finished building it the day before. Also, something I maybe I didn't notice at the time or didn't think about. Anakin was apparently born of some immaculate conception, that's like Mary in the biblical story. I don't know how I never knew that. But what does that even mean? Like, I always thought the line where it's like, oh, we didn't have a father meant like he was just gone. There was no father. Also, there's like a minute scene here of Jar Jar getting his tongue numb. I hate it. Jar Jar, there needs to be, if they allow Lucas to go back and edit these films anymore, I think he should only be allowed to edit out scenes with Jar Jar. So there's like 10 scenes or so that end with Jar Jar stepping in poop, kicking a robot, fumbling, bumbling, rumbling, tumbling. That should just be edited out. There's like 5 minutes of this movie of Jar Jar pratfalling that we can just get rid of. Just get rid of it. It's not funny to kids. It's not funny to adults. It's not funny to anyone. No one likes Jar Jar. I'm not even. I could go back. Jar Jar. Scourge of the universe. Jar Jar. Also, speaking of Tatooine, because we were talking about that, Obi-Wan is just gone for like 50 minutes of the movie. The entire middle of the movie on Tatooine, Obi-Wan is like in a chair going, "Yes, master. Yes, I received your phone call. Yes, I'll put the blood sample in the thing. Okay, bye." It's just strange. It's just strange in hindsight. Just looking at it. I mean, it's weird. And also, you're a slave. You're losing your son to these weird people. That was a pretty short goodbye. Oh, see ya. I'm not a slave anymore. There's no contracts here. There's no paper. There's no. Oh, bye. We mentioned earlier that they can blow you up if you leave. Well, let's not address that again. Let's just leave. Let's just leave with the Wonderkin. But, and I do like pod racing. This is a very well-meaning movie. It means well. It's really trying, I think. I think it's really trying, and it's really not doing good. But it's trying. It's so trying. I don't know what this is a picture of. We're going to look at it right now. Palpatine. Yeah, let's talk about Palpatine. So, apparently, he was the senator of Naboo, which I think means he would have to be from Naboo. But why would he be from Naboo and also be a Sith and also be a senator and then also need to be special elected and then also somehow, even though he's from an inconsequential planet that just happens to be trade embargoed right now, becomes the new leader of the Senate or whatever? I don't know why. None of this makes any sense. Someone's commenting. What did I say I have a PS3? Yeah, I have a PS3. That does not explain why Palpatine makes no sense. Why is Naboo so important? Can we get to the bottom of that? That's what I want to know. The very bottom of that. Also, Darth Maul. Probably the best part of the movie, besides pod racing. Boop, boop. The fight with him, I think, is really good. I think Qui-Gon dies too quickly. It makes no sense. I think all of a sudden Obi-Wan's really good because he's angry, but you're not supposed to be angry because you're a Jedi, so it doesn't make any sense. And he dies. Obviously, everyone's on the internet's talked about how Darth Maul should have not died and been one of the primary villains the entire time. And then the movie ends with an award ceremony that feels out of place and stupid and does not make sense to be there. They're trying to match so many story beats of Star Wars. They're like, okay, we got this scene at the beginning, a cold open in space, and then we got just a couple lightsaber fights, and then we got they blow something up in space, and then we got an award ceremony. And like, can't you just make your own movie about Star Wars? And that's something I think Episode 2 actually does better, because Episode 1 it's better than I remember, or than I thought it was going to be. And I think it gets kind of a bad rap, mainly because of Jar Jar, and he's just the worst. He's the worst. Um, this movie, I would actually recommend watching it. I don't think it's that abhorrent. It's got pod racing. It's got lightsabers. And you could probably skip a lot of the Jar Jar scenes, especially the one at the end where he's fighting and it's like entirely in CG. There's too much CG. That fight scene with Jar Jar at the end, it looks like a 3D artist's like concept art or concept reel or whatever that you show to employers. It's too much CG. Be that as it may. That's enough on this movie. Everyone's talked about this. It's out of control. That's what it is. But I think it's good. I think it gets a bad rap. I liked it, or at least I liked parts of it a lot. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It goes all over the place, but it's a fun time, and it does fill in. You can't just not watch it. You gotta watch all 6, right? I gotta go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't skip around and watch 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. No, that's not the point of this. Foolish. So thumb kind of up. That's what this movie gets. A thumb that's just kind of up. Hear my chair squeaking around over here. Dropping things. It's just chaos. Everything's chaos. Okay, time to go into Fallout 4 again. I don't know why the text is so high up there. I don't give a shit. So, not to go over everything I've already talked about. I did 14 hours in, I've been 30 hours in now. I really thought I'd play more of it. I was crazy addicted to Fallout 3 in college. First semester of college, not a good time to get addicted to a video game. Well, actually, probably the best time, really, and think about it. Okay, I still, in all my time with this game, have yet to find a weapon that I'm like, yeah, this is my weapon. And also, there's, like, none of them, they're either, okay, this weapon's really good, or I ran out of ammo. Or this one's does a lot of damage, but it takes like 7 years between each clip. I've yet to find something that I actually really like. I remember in Fallout 3 liking the weapons a lot more. Maybe I should do more modifications, but I feel like I should wait till I level up to do modifications. Also, I'm finding better weapons. I'm a guy in an RPG who will finish the game with 800 revives, like, and just every potion imaginable because I'm saving for some inevitable apocalypse that never occurs. So that I don't like to. That's why I don't like to upgrade any armor or weapons or whatever. Basically, everything I'm wearing is from the beginning of the game. I didn't think I'd be wearing the vault suit still 30 hours in. I thought I'd find another better piece of armor. I don't know. That's kind of weird, but it's kind of cool to just always be like, I'm the vault guy. La la la. But in this section, I played a lot of the game in city areas. There's a lot of buildings in this game. Boston is a huge section of the map. And there's also this area right above that across the bridge that's Lexington or someplace. I think it's Lexington. It doesn't matter. But these areas are so boring to me. like I love exploring inside the buildings, and I love exploring the outdoor wilderness areas, like the plane that crashes. That's awesome. I love exploring that. But inside the buildings, they're just or not between the inside the cities. It's boring. It's just not, and it's exhausting because it's like, did I go down this alley? No. Okay, I'll go down this alley. Oh, there was nothing there. Did I go down this alley? No. Oh, there was nothing there either. What about this alley? And it's like, it was so, I don't know, there's something about it that's so much more interesting when it's in a building and unraveling what happened in this building at the times the bomb went off. Like this one that's actually being shown, really good story moments in this, the Cambridge Polymer Labs. That's a really cool set piece moment. And I just don't know, there's just so much city garbage here that I just don't. I'm not liking the city stuff. I like everything else, but the buildings are, it's too much. It's too dense. There's too many buildings. We'll get that. Oh, speaking of cities though, I did finally get to Diamond City. That is cool. Everyone was making about, oh, they worship baseball, and I'm like, they worship baseball? No, there's one guy who worships baseball and doesn't understand the rules, which is funny, sure. Also, it's like half the stadium. But the city's all right. It's got some cool quests going on. The story, which I finally, obviously, since I got to Diamond City, finally did more of the main story. I just rescued Valentine last night. And that's cool. That's interesting. That's going places. But, I mean, 30 hours. I feel like I've explored so much. Like, I already popped the achievement for find 100 places on your map. You see the map. Also, the map kind of sucks. The local map I remember being a lot better in Fallout 3, but it's probably the same. Anyway, let's go back to perks. Because I talked about the perks. I didn't like the perk system before. I still don't like it. I routinely wait until I have 2 so I can spend them. I'm always becoming over encumbered, and I don't know why now. There's about 160 something weight of bullshit on top of my stupid ass character. And I don't know how or why it happened. That's probably on me. I'm carrying too many weapons, which is stupid because I only use like 3 of the weapons. But I'm carrying 20 because who knows when I'll need this shotgun or that shotgun or this one. I'm an idiot, I know. And that doesn't excuse the perks themselves that are baffling. I don't know, like, okay, it's like, oh, this one improves your small arms 20%. Well, can you give me non-automatic non-automatic rifles by 20% damage? I'm like, can you give me an example of what the fuck that means? Because I am not a gunsmith over here. Non-automatic rifles. Like, okay, I think I know what you're talking about. But can you give me a list of weapons so I don't just waste a point here? And I don't want to waste a point. It does feel like wasting a point. Even if I know what that category is, it still feels like wasting a point because I don't know. Is there something else that's better? But I keep looking through the list of everything and I'm like, all this is garbage. It's exactly what I felt with Skyrim. Is that all the skills and level ups in that game just are boring and stupid. They're a little bit better here, but not much. Like, instead of having 5 levels for your pistols damage, 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%, 100%, instead of doing that, why don't we make it 2 levels where it's like 30% and then 80%, and then just not have anything else for fucking pistols. Reduce the amount of skills you can get and make all the skills themselves more interesting, because they're not interesting at all. Like, there are a couple that are a couple that are. Like the one where you don't get irradiated by water and you can breathe underwater. That's pretty useful because I died underwater once and I decided I'm gonna buy that thing. But this just leads to me, there's too many choices, and there's just a bunch of garbage choices, except for lockpicking and hacking, which I want. All of that. I think I have 3. I have 3 perks I can use right now that I'm going to go and use. It's like, it's just exhausting to deal with. It's poorly implemented. Like, it's cool to see it all on one screen, but I have no idea, like, why does this take more intelligence than that? They don't have a natural progression because you're not leveling them up. Like you can pick one that's 6 down and then pick one that's 4 down. You don't need to do it in order. It's just, it's less of a skill tree and more of like a skill pool. Like it's like a ball pit. That's what Fallout 4's perks are. There's just a ball pit of just all the skills are in just everywhere. And I can't do it. That's too much for me. This show's gonna be fucking long because I'm gonna ramble on about this other shit. Companions. That guy you meet from the Minutemen constantly, and everyone else does too. They just stand in doorways, and I have to push them out of the way all the goddamn time. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of pushing these morons out of the way. I'm this close to just picking the perk that's like going solo. I'm like, yeah, I'm going solo. Or dog meat. Dog meat was never in my way. And when he was, it was like kind of cute because it's a dog. Now I have Piper. I'm not a big fan of the name Piper, but she's all right. That's the thing. I'm like lukewarm about almost everything in this game, and yet it is so phenomenal to play. Like, I just like wandering around and doing it, but there's a lot of problems here. Also, power armor, while we're talking about problems. Power armor, why would I ever use this? If I can't fight it, I'm just going to leave. Maybe I'll use power armor and fight that giant creature I found in the middle of a Boston pool area. But it's just not interesting to use the power armor. You got to use your stupid power cores, and then you're slow, and then I still have my shitty weapons. I mean, I fought a Deathclaw. I couldn't fight him any other way, so I just put like 3 mines on the ground. Literally the most powerful mines I had. Like one was a bottle cap one, and one was like not the normal fragmentation mine. It was like a better one, I think. And I just let it into the 3 mines because I have no idea how to fight this thing. It's frustrating. It's frustrating that I love this game, but the more I play it, the more I'm like, yeah, I'm going to play this for 100 hours, and I'm going to love it, and it's going to have a lot of problems. But it's got so many good moments. Like this moment where I accidentally like solve a puzzle that wasn't really much of a puzzle, and I get a cool piece of power armor. That's cool. I like that. But it's the things, I heard this on a podcast, I forget where, but it's not, there's no highs and there's no lows. There's just Fallout 4. And it's a constant, this is fun. I like this. But it never goes higher, never goes lower. Maybe there's a little wavering every once in a while, but that's it. That's it. And that's all I have to say about Fallout 4. Because I still have to talk about Star Wars. Star Wars song. It's very popular. Hope you can't hear how squeaky my stupid ass chair is. Squeaky, squeaky, squeaky chair. Let's talk about another movie that came out very, very long time. So, Attack of the Clones. We're gonna go right into Attack of the Clones. I have notes on this one too. Let's pop over into the other screen. What's the first topic? Let's look at how dopey fucking Anakin looks like. Let's look at that first. Jeez. But ignoring his goofy look that I am now going to have to see in the corner of my eye, I do actually, as much shit as the prequels get for talking about politics all the time, I think that's a really cool angle, and I think it's really believable and smart that, Palpatine would use the government and take over a logical takeover of the government to lead into the Empire. That makes perfect sense. There's a lot of other plot details and issues where I don't quite understand why or how or it's all very confusing. Also, why does he have this stupid little, it's not even a rat tail, it's like the side of your head. It's just really dumb. There's no reason for this. I know it was on Obi-Wan in the first movie. There's no reason for this. The good news about this movie is they did better with CG. Oh, here's another picture of Anakin. Looking all dreamy. Like a teen heartthrob right there, you goofus. Ridiculous. Okay. Oh, we'll get to that in a minute. Having Padme be fake again at the beginning of this movie is really stupid. It's the same thing you did in the last one. Also, you just brutally murdered like 10 people in a giant explosion. That's your opening of this PG movie? Whatever. I just think it's funny. But the dialogue between Teen Heartthrob, let's see, fucking hell, Teen Heartthrob and anyone else in this movie is so painful. He just comes up, and at first I thought it was the writing, right? I had a class in college where it was a script writing class, and one of the assignments was, here's these 2 scenes from episode 2, rewrite them into not ridiculous piles of garbage. One scene is the one where they're packing for Naboo, and the other scene is where they're by the fireplace in Naboo. So it's 2 scenes with young little Darth Vader and Padme. And these scenes do have really poor dialogue, but I think it comes more down to Anakin as a character is just really a doofus. He really is clueless and has no idea what's going on. And it's a very consistent character too. He very much knows that he's a moron. We'll get back to that. Why does Obi-Wan jump out of a window? Who knows how high you are? He just jumps out of a window to catch that pod. When are they going to give Jedi ranged weapons? That's my thing. Also, he should be a little more powerful. You have force push, right? I'm assuming there's also force pull. Maybe you could try that on the robot. Maybe you could have used that to steer it. I don't know, but I think it's really dumb to jump out of a building like a psycho. It doesn't make any sense. And also, while we're on things that make no sense, why does this guy have an eye patch? Eye patches are cool. I will grant you that. But why? We're in the space future. Actually, we're in the space past, but you know, people lose their arms. They get their arms replaced with little robot arms. But we can't fix this guy's eye? You're telling me that? We can fly beyond light speed, but we can't fix this guy's eye? Does he just wear it because he thinks it's cool? I don't get it. Why does he have an eye patch? I'm hung up on it. Really am. I don't understand. Anyway, Obi-Wan, they do make him really stupid, as I said, with him jumping out the window. It's kind of an asshat the entire time to Anakin, but Anakin also is an asshat as well. So that works. I like the chase scene that follows that, where they're flying around, and it's very much like a video game where they're like jumping around fire, and it's really stupid. The Death Sticks line I think is still really funny, really good. The beginning of this movie really shows progress to me. There's not a lot of short scenes that are inconsequential. There's not a lot, you know, it's 20 seconds, cut. It has more pacing, and it really has a flow to it. It has its beginning action scene with a chase, and then it goes right into Jedi sleuth time. And I like that. I like how they separate. This movie really has 2 main characters, you know, Anakin and Obi-Wan. They do their little divergent paths. It obviously comes back together. And I like their time apart. That's really good for the movie. And all of Obi-Wan's stuff is really interesting. And you also get to know that even in the future, or the past, there are rude librarians. But all the scenes with Anakin and Padme are so unbelievable in the sense that if this guy is such a doofus, which he's clearly a giant doofus, why does she like him? Is she literally, the first thing she says to him is, "Little Annie, my, you've grown. I'll always picture you as that little kid we met on Tatooine." And then you fall in love with him in like a week? The time frame here, that's the big problem. Because it seems like the time frame on Naboo is like over a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two. And the time frame from Obi-Wan feels like it's a day and a half. It doesn't make sense for him to be on the cloning planet with those really cool cloning aliens. It doesn't make sense for him to be there longer than like 2 days. And yet in that same time frame, Anakin and Padme kiss. They have their stupid, terrible dialogue fireplace scene where they say, "I can't date you, I'm a senator," which is illogical. And then they're like, "Okay, we're rolling around in the grass now." That's like in a day? Like, these people are nuts. Nuts. These people are crazy. But the slower pace is much better. Let's see, clone aliens are cool. This is what I wrote down. The love scenes are just so icky and weird. They're very icky. Some of the things that he says are like, "Really, dude? Really? That was your pickup line? True love? No." No. Here's this is exactly what's wrong with Anakin's dialogue in this entire movie. He says what you would write in a journal, a private journal, is what he says out loud in this movie. It's hilarious in a bad way. It's not good. Let's get to Jango here. I think Jango's cool. Wait, no. Yeah, this is Jango. Almost got him mixed up. I don't know why you needed him here. I don't know why the clones had to be him. It is cool that the stormtroopers are revealed to be clones. I think that's interesting. A lot of the prequel stuff is just like, why is that like that? But if it was something else, you'd probably be saying, why is that like that anyway? And I do think the movie, and I actually really like this movie for the most part, except for Anakin and Padme, which is strange. And I wonder if I'll feel that this movie is is good, after I watch the original trilogy again. We'll see, because I have a feeling I'm going to like them all about the same, because I'm easy to please. So they're all going to be like thumbs kind of up. But this movie's better than the first one. It's brought down. The first one's brought down by Jar Jar a lot. This one's brought down by the stupid romance scenes, but they're really short. And they don't involve Jar Jar. Any scene that doesn't involve Jar Jar is a good scene for me. Now, also the scene where they fight him, the Obi-Wan and Jango fight, great. This asteroid belt shit, great. Loving it, loving it, loving it. And I think the best part is Anakin and Padme on Tatooine, and he's like, "I killed them. They're all dead." And then he says, "Not only the men, but the women and children." You just said, this is one of the scenes I had to rewrite in that class. You just said that you killed everyone 3 different ways in 3 consecutive sentences. Just say you killed everyone, you weirdo. But these scenes of him being like, clearly you need some pills because you're going through some stuff here. I think that's actually pretty good in how he becomes Darth Vader. Like, he becomes evil because he's clearly psycho. This is a psycho kid who should never have been trained. Yoda was right. Duh. I think those scenes actually do work. I mean, I'm doing a little bit of mental gymnastics to get there that they work. But let's talk about Padme, because she's the real hero of this film. This movie, when it came out in 2002, so I was 12-ish, and I've watched it since then, but it's still been like 8 years. Padme is smoking hot in this outfit in this movie. And I thought that at the time, I think it now. It's unbelievable. 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 How could you not like Padme? Even against a ridiculously silly blue screen that's overused so often. It's just Padme all the time. What's this? Oh, it's just Padme lying down in a cool outfit that's really hot. Am I allowed to say that? Probably. The PC police, not pleased. Can't say an outfit's attractive. No, don't do that. Can't say that. They did replace. I'm just gonna leave her up there. They did replace the stupid Jar Jar comic relief with C-3PO and R2 comic relief, which I do feel is forced and a little too much towards the end. But it's much better than Jar Jar because Jar Jar can. Do they kill him? I really hope he dies horribly. I don't know. I'm not super familiar with Star Wars in terms of the Jar Jar lore. The Jar Jar verse, as it shall hence be known. And it doesn't make any sense for these guys to be captured. So Obi-Wan's captured, Anakin's captured, Padme's captured. At the very least, they know that Obi-Wan and Anakin are Jedi. And they're captured. They are captured. But instead of just murdering them, let's take them to a coliseum where they might live. You have the senator, like the trade viceroy who hates Padme is like, yeah, let's put her in the fighting pits, not let's just put a laser bullet through her skull. Yeah, let's put her in the fighting pits or this coliseum. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Really cool. That's an amazing scene, I think. There's a lot of great scenes in this movie. That scene, the fight scene there, the fight scene with all the Jedi, even though some of them are like in the background, if you start watching all the extras, it's really funny. There's that fight scene. Then there's all the clones coming to save them. Then there's flying through the space desert. That's cool. Things are blowing up. There's the fight with Obi-Wan and Anakin. Anakin being a dick again against Dooku. Awesome. There's the Dooku Yoda fight. I still think is really cool. I know. Why is Yoda jumping around? Let him jump around. Jump, jump, jump up and get down. It's Yoda. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. I like it. The longest episode ever because I have to review 2 stupid movies that I have a lot of comments about. But I like this movie. I like episode 2. Before I watched these movies again, I would have said episode 2 was the least good of the prequels. Here's them fighting. But I think, I don't know, I think the revised order for me so far is 2 is better than 1. There's just a lot better scenes in 2. And I actually really liked 1. 2 gets a solid thumbs up. Not just a somewhat thumbs up, a solid thumbs up. In my rating system, that means nothing. Also, pit monsters, cool. I like it. It's dumb, it's fun. It's exactly what Star Wars is. Dumb fun. Done. Merry Christmas. Merry freaking Christmas. Star Wars. And that's it. This has been the show. Recorded live every Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Usually not this long. On Twitch. Usually with more cohesive... No, definitely not usually with more coherent sentences. Goodbye. I'll probably be talking about Fallout again. And another Star Wars movie. Only one. Only one next time, because I ramble. I ramble.